mick out of you. I love winding him up.
Yeah, what's up with him?
You know, just being a typical student.
Oh, tell me about it. Anyway, have a good holiday, mate.
Absolutely cracking, mate. I loved every minute.
Great. I was at work.
Wow, you got paid for the next one.
Oh, that's true. I think I'm still paying for the last one. Yeah. Where's Ellen, anyway?
Well, you know how she's a Steelers fan,
Can't miss it.
and you know how old habits die hard for Yorkshire people.
Yes.
She bought a child's plane ticket. Still there.
This is the return of Whiskers TV.
Short hiatus, welcome back to Whiskers TV. On this week's show we'll be looking back at a fantastic 4-point weekend for the Panthers. We'll be looking ahead to the games this weekend against Cardiff and Hull, and we'll also be getting some of your comments on some of the major incidents in the Elite League. But first, it's Paul Baum with the news.
I'm Paul Baum, and this is the news. Hollywood producers plan story of Martin Toomer's life. After his recent embarrassment at the hands of Craig Kowalski, Devon Didiamete finds something he thinks he might be able to fight. And that was the news.
After a disappointing Sunday in Coventry the previous week, I don't think optimism was too high for Friday against Belfast, but Panthers pulled off a cracking result.
Didn't they just? You know, that's the sort of result that you need if you're going to get around the league. I mean, there's a lot of people are going to be disappointed that we let the goal in to give them the point in the final 30 seconds. But you know, we came away from Belfast with 2 points. How many teams are going to do that this year?
There's not many, and I think it was important that we actually beat another conference team, or certainly a team in the same conference. I think there's been no problem with teams from the Northern Conference, but when we've been playing our own teams, we seem to have been struggling a little, and it sort of says it all when we're very, very near the top of the overall league, but I think 4th in the conference. So we need to start winning them games.
We do. I mean, we're like this year, we're like a Panthers team of old, that we're very good at beating the lesser teams. I mean, Murrayfield weren't even at the races the other week, but oh, sorry.
See what you did there. See what you did there.
Oh, if only I'd meant that. Well, I've lost my track now. But you know, we've beaten the. I don't use the word lesser teams because they're not. You know, but we've beaten the teams at the lower end of the league easily, and then we've struggled with those at the top. And all right, you've still got to beat the teams at the bottom end, but you've got to beat the teams at the top as well if you're going to get anywhere.
I think another pleasing thing for me as well was the penalty shootout. We scored all 3 penalties.
Yeah, great. Absolutely marvellous. Can't say anything bad about that. Even me. Even I can't say anything bad about that.
Moving on to Sunday night, and it was Dundee, in Dundee. Apparently absolutely dominated the game. I haven't seen any footage from it, so I don't really know. Heavily outshot Dundee in the first period and throughout, I think, the whole game. Yeah. However, still went 1-0 down to our old friend Sammy, who seems to have this habit of scoring against us. But then 5 goals without reply and 5 different scorers as well.
And that's the pleasing thing, you know, that to spread the goals around, it makes it harder for the opposition to play against. I mean, look at the number of times you've seen teams where they've had 2 or 3 players. They get closed down, the team lose. So if we're scoring goals from everywhere, that can only be good.
And of course, we've got Coventry midweek, and here's what we had to say after the game. A little bit of clandestine drinking in the castle after the game. Anyway, onto the game.
It wasn't a bad one, was it?
It wasn't bad at all.
No,
and,
not bad, not bad.
A bit feisty and all.
Well, it's Blaze, and you've got to say at times they are possibly the dirtiest team I've seen all season.
Yeah, but we give as good as we get.
You've got to, haven't you? You've got to.
And I think Mr. Ling is lucky he didn't get a bit of a beating at the end after that slash on Bradley's legs.
But
cheap shots is his game, and I'm glad he plays for us. That's all I can say.
Well, that's it. He's one of those players that you look at and you think, oh, if he played for somebody else, like Finity, let's say.
Yeah,
if he played for us, you'd love him. If he played for somebody else, you'd hate him. Bruce Richardson's another.
Yeah. Anyway, some cracking goals tonight.
And a rather embarrassing one.
Yes. Mind you, how many times has that happened to us where the puck comes off the backboards, nobody's in front, and it's tapped into an empty net?
Well,
it's happened to us a lot of times before, so I will take absolutely no guilt whatsoever in accepting that. They all count.
Yeah. If you saw it, you'd probably agree with me. It's December's goal of the month.
It's worth watching. Yeah, I think it could be up there.
It's a screamer.
I think Bruce Graham deserves a lot of credit because I thought that goal was an absolute belter.
He took it really well, like the old Peter Forsberg penalty shots.
Yeah.
Just faked the keeper by drifting across and just leave the stick out and just took the puck into the side you've just left. But I thought Matthew Myers had a great game as well.
Great game. Yeah. Lovely first goal. I thought Pat Gallivan's goal, the game winner, was excellent.
Yeah.
Really well taken under the bar.
Dude was absolutely gutted about that.
I'm sure he was.
Gutted.
I'm sure he was. And I must admit as well, I thought, to give Blaze some credit, Matt Bolesky took all three of his goals superbly
really well. But by the same token, that game's just ended 4-3, and it was a hell of a lot closer than it should have been.
Yeah,
we went 3-0 up, switched off. They got 2 back. We went 4-2 up, switched off. All of a sudden it's 4-3.
Of course, we can't leave it without talking about what happened at the end, and I think...
Should we not? Have I missed it again?
You was there.
I was paying attention.
I think, in all seriousness, as much as I love Tom, for all he did for us
he didn't have his best tonight. See, he missed plenty on both sides. A couple of times tonight. Especially those events at the end. He'd already got his arm up for a penalty. Mm. And unless it was one of Bolesky's 2+2 for roughing, he didn't call it. What's that about? But
there was a lot he missed on both sides.
Yes,
to be fair, there was a number of times where you looked down and the Blaze bench was going crazy.
It's terrible, isn't it?
at things that was out. And to be honest, in a way, I can't blame him because he was missing. There was some blatant stuff missed.
Yeah,
but on both sides, there was stuff they were doing. Filthy cheap shots that were getting missed.
Sorry about this. I'm drinking on a school night. I'm sorry, but I don't get much chance. Sorry, go on.
Sorry. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. So
they're a typical Paul Thompson team. I think there's a bit of dirtiness, a bit of inside, a bit of cheap shots, but we're no angels either.
I can see why they've been put together because they, all said and done, they're quite entertaining, and I can see why the crowds are up at the Sky Dome.
Definitely, but they've got if Bolesky's going to be going home soon, which I've heard is rumoured that he is, then they've got to look and they've got Guthrie, but where are the goals coming from on that?
Yeah, I think you make a good point there.
Because Guthrie's not a fighter, is he?
He's certainly not a fighter. Maybe a lover. Who knows? Anyway, no. Of course, Coventry, half the team went off without completing the handshakes. It seems to be getting a bit of a habit for them.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's face it. If they do anything, get involved in anything like that again, even the elite league's going to have to throw the book at them then. Yeah.
But I suppose the main thing, 4-3 victory, 2 points, and I believe that puts us top.
Does it? Well, it's only December.
It's
only December.
Plenty of time to go yet. And I think with that, back to the studio. Plenty of player movements in the Elite League just recently. And we've asked for some of your opinions on Twitter. Thanks for those of you who sent some comments in for us. However, we'll start with the Sheffield Steelers, who today lost Wood. They're looking a bit flaccid again. Got to get it in.
You have. So cheap, but so easy, so funny.
In all seriousness, there's no. I mean, the guy was getting very, very little ice time at the Steelers. I think the most ice time he got was actually on the opening credits of the Elite League show, so it was no surprise really that he dropped to the EPL and the Steel Dogs.
No, and it'll probably do him good, really. He wants to play, and he's a hockey player. That's what they do. So I think it'll do him some good down there.
Another big blow for the Steelers today is Tom Sestito, their NHLer stroke AHLer, has decided to leave. Seems he's signing for a club in the Czech Republic. I think that's a big blow for them.
It could be. I mean, yeah, they've got players coming in. I think it's Simon Ferguson. There's talk of Frank, who was at Cardiff last year, joining them. That is only a rumour at the moment, though. But it's always difficult to make changes this time. But sometimes, I mean, obviously this has been forced on them. He's going to the Czech Republic, but it could be difficult times ahead for Finity's team.
Especially as they've had two pretty poor results at the weekend, losing both games. And I think Sestito was one of the players who came in and actually gave them a lift, and I think their results have been better. So I do think this could be some testing times for the Steelers. We hope. Anyway, we did ask for some comments from Steelers fans on today's news, but got absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing at all. Thank you. So thank you for that. Yes.
Moving on, we've had Barry McKenzie, who's been released by the Cardiff Devils, and also
Mick Morneau.
Mick Morneau.
Apologise
Yeah.
if I got that wrong, but yes.
Yeah, he's also been released by the Clan. It seems the McKenzie release by Cardiff was a big surprise, and I think you've got something there.
Yes, we've got Sean Phillips from Cardiff, who, in a word, gutted. He's saying.
Yeah, and I think it's not gone down too well, but it seems that McKenzie's been released, so they've been able to re-sign Mark Richardson, who's come back from Kazakhstan. And I think if it's an either-or situation, as tough as it is on McKenzie, I think that's the right decision by the Devils.
It probably is, but with all these players coming back from Kazakhstan, it does make a bit of mockery of the Elite League increasing the number of imports to cover it. But
whole other debate.
Indeed.
Yeah, and of course Mitch Manow, released by the Clan. We had a couple of comments on that from our old mate Craig Anderson at Slapshot Scotland. He says he said about McKenzie first was a surprise, but Manow not a total surprise given his woes, pretty injury prone from what we can gather. Also we had Doug Lafferty,
our other viewer north of the border.
Our other viewer north of the border. I think he's got something there, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. I mean, he's basically saying the same thing. There's no great surprise with the injuries that Morneau had. That he's been released.
So I mean, and then that moves us on nicely, I suppose, because with the Clan signing Martin Tuma from the Panthers, and the guy gets a broken finger after one game. I mean, how unlucky is that man?
He's got to be. I mean, we did the joke about it at the start of the show, but I can't remember anybody with a string of bad luck as bad as he's had. I mean, what's the old cliche with that? If you didn't have bad luck, you wouldn't have any at all. But yeah, I mean, he's leaving Nottingham as well was strange for me. Our defence has been doing really well. He's been part of that. He started slowly. He had all the problems, but he was coming into his own. I think, and okay, he's got this injury now, which starting at a new club, getting injured straight away doesn't look good for him. But you don't know that was going to happen if he'd still been playing for us. So it just doesn't seem, the whole thing of him moving just doesn't seem right to me.
I mean that's reflected in some of the tweets we've had. Viv Stedman said Martin Tuma officially the unluckiest man in British hockey, and I think that you've got to agree with that one.
Yeah. I mean, so we got Tina Taylor here saying he's the unluckiest player in the league. Nobody's going to disagree with any of that.
However, I think we'll leave the final word to our old mate Patrick Smythe from A View from the Bridge Forum.
Yeah, he said he's got no opinion at all.
Cheers, Paddy. Nice one. 2 games coming up at the weekend. Firstly, Cardiff in the Big Blue Tent on Saturday night, tough game.
It is. I mean, we've said it time and time again on here already, but that's the Elite League. You play each other twice a week and once again on Saturdays. But yeah, it's a game we've got to go and win.
Yeah, absolutely. Not a happy hunting ground for us over the years. However, we really do have to go and win that game, I think. I think if we do win, it makes us serious challenges for the title, in my opinion.
It's a bit early for that, but those are the games you've got to go and win. It's okay, like we were saying earlier, beating the teams at the lower end of the table week in, week out, but you've got to beat the teams in your own conference. You've got to Cardiff's one of those places you just got to go to and be able to grind a result out.
But I mean, I genuinely do think we are becoming serious title contenders. We're still up there. I think we're 2 points behind Belfast with a game in hand. Results have definitely improved over the past couple of months. Yeah, there's been the odd bad one, but on the whole, we've been doing pretty well. I just think if we can keep it up, and if the defence performs as well as it has been, then why not? Could the drought end?
When it all goes horribly wrong, it's his fault. All right?
I said, could the drought end, not it will end.
You just said it will now.
No. Anyway, Sunday, we're playing Hull and the NIC, 4 o'clock face-off. What do you reckon?
Should be an hour later. It's a potential banana skin. I think all aren't as bad as as some people will make out.
They're not a bad side. I think they're a pretty decent side, and I think you're right. Potential banana skin, absolutely. I mean, they've got players that can hurt us. Tendler for a start. Young Bounds isn't doing too bad in net for them, and Silverthorne's quite a classy player. I like him.
As long as he keeps his head up, yeah, he'll be fine.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he will, considering who's on the ice with him. But all joking apart, I think he's a decent player, and he's another one of them players who tends to always score against us.
Well, there's a lot of them, isn't there? I mean, was it any surprise we went to goal down in Dundee to Ryan? Really, should never got rid of him in the first place. But that's Corey's choice.
Can worms open? Anyway, I think we'll leave it there for this week. Probably wise. We'll of course be back next week. Thanks for watching. See you next week. With the student who's been pretty critical of our forwards all season, especially Gallivan and especially Graham, but they've both started scoring now, so what you got to say?